Hello students, I hope you all fine. In this science video session, we are going to learn Unit 1 Physics, Laws of Motion.
Things around us are related to one another. Some bodies are at rest and some are in motion. Rest and motion are interrelated terms. Here, a moving body comes to rest. What causes the moving body comes to rest? A moving body slows down. What causes the moving body slows down? A moving body speeds up. What causes the moving body speeds up? Here, a moving body changes the direction of motion. What causes the body to change the direction of motion? Answer for all the above question is force. A body needs a push or pull to move or bring to rest or change its velocity. Hence, this push or pull is called as force. According to Aristotle, a Greek philosopher and scientist, the natural state of earthly bodies is rest. He stated that two types of motion. One is natural motion and another one is violent motion. Here, a natural motion, a moving body naturally comes to rest without any external influence of the force. Such motions are termed as natural motion. Here, all the natural moving bodies naturally comes to rest. We are not applying any force to change its state. So, here the force is independent. He also proposed that a force is needed to make the bodies to move from their natural state of rest. This is called violent motion. Here, force is required to move the body. So, force is dependent. Further, he said, when two different mass bodies are dropped from a height, the heavier body falls faster than the lighter one. According to Galileo, when different size, shape, and mass of the bodies dropped from a height, all the bodies reach the ground at the same time. While you are traveling in a bus or in a car, when a sudden brake is applied, the upper part of your body leans in the forward direction. Similarly, when the vehicle suddenly is moved forward from rest, you lean backward. This is due to any body would like to continue to be in its state of rest or the state of motion. This is known as inertia. Definition of inertia: the inherent property of a body to resist any change in its state of rest or the state of uniform motion unless it is influenced upon by an external unbalanced force is known as inertia. Basically, an object will keep doing what it was doing unless acted on by an unbalanced force. If the object was sitting still, it will remain stationary. If it was moving at a constant velocity, it will keep moving. It takes force to change the moving of an object. Now, types of inertia. We have three types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. The resistance of a body to change its state of rest is called inertia of rest. The resistance of a body to change its state of motion is called inertia of motion. The resistance of a body to change its direction of motion is called inertia of direction. Examples of inertia. When you vigorously shake the branches of a tree, some of the leaves and fruits are detached and they fall down. Example of inertia of motion. An athlete runs some distance before jumping because this will help him jump longer and higher. When you make a sharp turn while driving a car, you tend to lean sideways. This is the example of inertia of direction. Linear momentum. We can able to see the two images. One is tractor and another one is bullet. A tractor has a large mass and must slow down long before a stop light because even with a small velocity, it has a large momentum and is difficult to stop. A bullet, although small in mass, has a large momentum because of an extremely large velocity. Here, the two impact of the bodies have two factor. One is mass, another one is velocity. So the impact of a force is more if the velocity and the mass of the body is also more. So the product of mass and velocity of a moving body gives the magnitude of linear momentum. It acts in the direction of the velocity of the body. So formula for the linear momentum is mass into velocity. So P is equal to mv. Unit for the linear momentum is, for mass is kilogram and for velocity is meters second power minus 1. So we can write kilogram meter second power minus 1. Newton's first law of motion. This law states that every body continues to be in its state of rest or the state of uniform motion along a straight line unless it is acted upon by some external force. It gives the definition of force as well as inertia. Here, example of Newton's first law, an object at rest will remain at rest unless acted on by an unbalanced force. An object in motion will continue with constant speed and direction unless acted on by an unbalanced force. Based on the direction, forces are classified into two types. One is like parallel force and another one is unlike parallel force. Like parallel force, two or more forces of equal or unequal magnitude acting along the same direction parallel to each other are called like parallel force. Here in the image 1, two persons are applying equal or unequal forces in the same direction. Unequal parallel force. If two or more equal forces or unequal forces act along opposite directions parallel to each other, then they are called unlike parallel forces. Example, tug of war. Here, two teams are giving forces in the opposite direction. Rotating effect of force. Have you observed the position of handle in a door? It is always placed at the edge of door and not at some other place. Why? Have you tried to push a door by placing your hand closer to the hinges or the fixed edge? What do you observe? The door can be easily opened or closed when you apply the force at a point far away from the fixed edge. In this case, the effect of the force you apply is to turn the door above the fixed edge. This turning effect of the applied force is more when the distance between the fixed edge and the point of application of force is more. Then, what is the axis of rotation here? The axis of the fixed edge about which the door is rotated is called as the axis of rotation. The rod will be turned about the fixed point is called as point of rotation. Moment of the force. The rotating or turning effect of a force about a fixed point or fixed axis is called moment of the force about the point or torque. This moment of the force, it is measured by the product of a force F and the perpendicular distance d between the fixed point or the fixed axis and the line of action of the force. So the formula for moment of the force is torque is equal to force into distance. Here, screw is the example of moment of the force. So in the screw, at the end we are applying force. So the turning effect is produced from the pivot to the force applied at the end is the perpendicular distance. Now, moment of the couple. Moment of a couple is measured by the product of any one of the forces and the perpendicular distance between the line of action of two forces. The turning effect of a couple is measured by the magnitude of its moment. Moment of a couple is equal to force into perpendicular distance between the line of action of forces. So we can write for moment of a couple is m is equal to force into perpendicular distance between the line of action of forces. So unit for the momentum is for force is Newton and for the perpendicular distance is meter. So Newton meter. Example of moment of couple is turning a tap. Here we have the application of torque, gears, seesaw, steering wheel. A gear is a circular wheel with teeth around its rim. It helps to change the speed of rotation of a wheel by changing the torque and helps to transmit power. Seesaw. Most of you have played on the seesaw. Since there is a difference in the weight of the persons sitting on it, the heavier person lifts the lighter person. When the heavier person comes closer to the pivot point, fulcrum, the distance of the line of action of the force decreases. It causes less amount of torque to act on it. This enables the lighter person to lift the heavier person. Steering wheel. A small steering wheel enables you to maneuver a car easily by transferring a torque to the wheels with less effort. Newton's second law of motion. According to this law, the force acting on a body is directly proportional to the rate of change of linear momentum of the body, and the change in momentum takes place in the direction of the force. In the picture, a person is applying a force on the lesser mass, so the speed increases as the acceleration also increases. In the next image, a person is applying force on the larger mass, so the speed is increases slower and acceleration also slower. This law helps us to measure the amount of force, so it is also called as law of force. Let m be the mass of a moving body moving along a straight line with an initial speed u. After a time interval of t, the velocity of the body changes to v due to the impact of an unbalanced external force F. So here initial moment of the body P high is equal to mu, final moment of the body Pf is equal to mv, change in momentum, so delta P is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. So mv minus mu. By Newton's second law of motion, force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum with respect time. Here, force is directly proportional to the mv minus mu divided by t. To remove the proportionality, we are adding the constant value F is equal to k m into v minus u divided by t. Here, k is the proportionality constant. K is equal to 1 in all system of units, hence F is equal to m into v minus u divided by t. Since acceleration is equal to change in velocity divided by time, so A is equal to v minus u divided by t. Hence we have Force is equal to mass into acceleration. Impulse. A large force acting for a very short interval of time is called as impulsive force. When a force F acts on a body for a period of time t, then the product of force and time is known as impulse, respected by J. Impulse J is equal to force into time. This change in momentum can be achieved in two ways: a large force acting for a short period of time and a smaller force acting for a long period of time. Here are the examples of impulse. In cricket, a fielder pulls back to his hands while catching the ball. He experiences a smaller force for a longer interval of time to catch the ball, resulting in a lesser impulse on his hands. Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. They always act on two different bodies. Here are the examples of Newton's third law. When the birds fly, they push the air downwards with their wings is action, and the air pushes the bird upwards is reaction. When a person swims, he pushes the water using the hands backwards is action, and the water pushes the swimmer in the forward direction is reaction. When you fire a bullet, the gun recoils backward and the bullet is moving forward is action, and the gun equalizes this forward action by moving backward is reaction. So, the formula for Newton's third law of motion is F2 is equal to minus F1. So, action and equal opposite reaction. Principle of conservation of linear momentum. There is no change in the linear momentum of a system of bodies as long as no net external force acts on them. Let us prove the law of conservation of linear momentum with the following illustration. Let two bodies A and B having masses m1 and m2 move with initial velocity u1 and u2 in a straight line. Let the velocity of the first body be higher than that of the second body. During an interval of time t second, they tend to have a collision. After the impact, both of them move along the same straight line with the velocity v1 and v2 respectively. Now, force on body B due to A, Fb is equal to m2 into v2 minus u2 divided by t. Force on body A due to B is Fa is equal to m1 into v1 minus u1 divided by t. By Newton's third law of motion, action force is equal to reaction force. So, Fa is equal to minus Fb. So, apply the value of Fa and Fb here. m1 into v1 minus u1 divided by t is equal to minus m2 into v2 minus u2 divided by t. Finally, we'll get m1 into v1 plus m2 into v2 is equal to m1 u1 plus m2 e2. The above equation confirms in the absence of an external force, the algebraic sum of the moment after collision is numerically equal to the algebraic sum of the momentum before collision. Hence, the law of conservation linear momentum is proved. Here, rocket propulsion is one of the application of Newton's third law based on the law of conservation of linear momentum. Newton's universal law of gravitation. This law states that every particle of matter in this universe attracts every other particle with a force. This force is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the center of these masses. The direction of the force acts along the line joining the masses. Here, force between the masses is always attractive and it does not depend on the medium where they are placed. Let m1 and m2 be the masses of two bodies A and B placed or meter apart in space. So, combining these two equations will get the force is equal to gravitational constants m1 into m2 divided by r square. Here, capital G is the universal gravitational constant. Acceleration due to gravity. When you throw any object upwards, its velocity ceases at a particular height and then it falls down due to the gravitational force of the earth. The velocity of the object keeps changing as it falls down. This change in velocity must be due to the force acting on the object. The acceleration of the body is due to the earth's gravitational force. So, it is called as acceleration due to gravity force of the earth or acceleration due to gravity of the earth. It is represented as small g. Its unit is meter second per minus 2. Relation between small g and capital G. When a body is at rest on the surface of earth, it is acted upon by the gravitational force of the earth. Let us compute the magnitude of this force in two ways. Let m be the mass of the earth and m be the mass of the body. The entire mass of the earth is assumed to be concentrated as its center. The radius of the earth is r is equal to 6378 km. By Newton's law of gravitation, the force acting on the body is given by F is equal to gm m divided by r square. Here, capital M is the gravitational constant and capital M is the mass of the earth and small m is the mass of the body and r square is the radius of the earth. We can able to see the figure. Here, the radius of the body considered is negligible when compared with the Earth's radius. Now, the same force can be obtained from Newton's second law of motion. According to this law, the force acting on the body is given by the product of its mass and acceleration. Here, acceleration of a body is under the action of gravity, hence A is equal to G. Now, already you know that Newton's second law of motion, force is equal to mass into acceleration. So, here acceleration is equal to gravity, so that we can write mass into gravity. F is equal to weight is equal to mg. Comparing equation, these two will get mg is equal to gm m divided by r square. Acceleration due to gravity g is equal to gm divided by r square. Difference between mass and weight. Mass is the basic property of a body. Mass of a body is defined as the quantity of matter contained in a body. Its SI unit is kilogram kg. Weight of a body is defined as the gravitational force exerted on it due to the Earth's gravity alone. Here, the SI unit of weight is Newton. Weight of the body varies from one place to another place on the earth since it depends on the acceleration due to gravity of the earth g. Weight of a body is more at the poles than at the equatorial region. Apparent weight. The weight that you feel to possess during up and down motion is not same as your actual weight. Apparent weight is the weight of the body acquired due to the action of gravity and other external forces acting on the body. Let us see this from the following illustration. Let us consider a person of mass m who is traveling in lift. The actual weight of the person is W is equal to m into g, which is acting vertically downwards. The reaction force exerted by the lift surface R, taken as apparent weight, is acting vertically upwards. Let us see different possibilities of the apparent weight R of a person that arise depending on the motion of the lift upwards or downwards, which are given in the table. Apparent weight of a person in a moving lift. In case 1, when the lift is moving upward with an acceleration A, here apparent weight is greater than the actual weight. So apparent weight R is equal to mass m into g plus A. In case 2, lift is moving downward with an acceleration A. So here apparent weight is lesser than the actual weight. So the apparent weight R is equal to m into g minus A. In case 2, lift is at rest. So the apparent weight is equal to the actual weight. So apparent weight is equal to m into g. In case 4, lift is falling down freely. So apparent weight is equal to 0. So apparent weight R is equal to m into g minus g. Weightlessness. Have you gone to an amusement park and taken a ride in a roller coaster? During the fast downward and upward movement, how did you feel? It's amazing. You actually feel as if you are falling freely without having any weight. This is due to the phenomena of weightlessness. You seem to have lost your weight when you move down with a certain acceleration. Sometimes you experience the same feeling while traveling in a lift. When the person in a lift moves down with an acceleration is equal to the acceleration due to gravity, this motion is called as free fall. Weightlessness of the astronauts. Some of us believe that the astronauts in the orbiting space station do not experience any gravitational force of the Earth, so they float, but this is absolutely wrong. Astronauts are not floating but falling freely around the Earth due to their huge orbital velocity. Since space station and astronauts have equal acceleration, they are under free fall condition. Here apparent weight R is equal to 0. Refer the case 4. Hence, both the astronauts and the space station are in the state of weightlessness. Astronauts are not floating but falling freely around the Earth due to their huge orbital velocity. Application of Newton's law of gravitation. It helps in discovering new stars and planets. It helps to explain germination of roots is due to the property of geotrophism, which is the property of a root responding to the gravity, and helps to predicate the path of the astronomical bodies. We came to the end of the session. Once again, go through all the topics. Now, let's see the evaluation part.